Hi everyone, welcome back and thank you for joining Empowerment Network. If you are new on this platform, my name is Comfort Confor. We are here to discuss about Unpassive, which is a very powerful business and of course a humanitarian movement. This evening we are excited to have the powerful team in the house as usual, and we are going to be discussing the topic. We will be dominant due to the experts that we have or that are joining us. So we would just like to go straight and start with Jeffrey as we say, welcome, Jeffrey, and you roll on from there. Thank you. Hi, guys. Just wave if you would like to.
Boom. Okay. Well, good day to you. Collins, man, it's good to see you. Andy, absolutely. I guess I'm going to have to start fighting back. I mean, I don't know. Now, do you want me to just start with the first topic out of the gate, or do you want to
Yes,
introduce
yes,
Andy and
please.
Collins?
If you could,
Okay.
Jeffrey, you can go ahead to talk about maybe commissions, payout,
Okay.
payment structures, process, and we go from there.
Sure. Well, I mean, obviously, we got a lot of stuff going on in the background, right? With ONPASSIVE, and this is to say, obviously, that we are working 24/7 and doing a lot of really good stuff. Now, yesterday on 360, we had. I love how Mr. Mufara put it. The three Mohammeds, triple trouble. I loved that. And right out of the gate, he didn't make any bones about it. He was talking about the commission process, and he said, hey, this is already the commission payout process is already it's on track. It's moving along. And to accomplish it, he said that there were some steps that were going to be put in place to accommodate the new merchant requirements. But the verifying process going on for this is for this evolution of payment only. Now, Andy, last week you had indicated that and said, hey, we got a merchant payment for this evolution of payment. So don't think it's verify or anything like that, right? Because the process actually includes verifying through the email addresses, and they talked about that. But this first round of payout identification or authentication, if you will, is not using our very own verify. So we're going to have to go through that again when we start to use verify. We'll have to go through this process. But for now, everything's fine. We don't need to do anything except keep our eyeballs on our emails, right? Our OMail and our alternative or alternate email that we've got for our accounts, because we don't want to have the payment process withdrawals working and then we not know it because we haven't checked our email. I mean, if that happens, it's really going to throw a wrench in the works for Mr. Mufara's tracking process, not to mention the fact that you're not going to get any kind of payment. So that's kind of what they said in a nutshell about commission payout.
Okay, thank you, Jeffrey. Collins, I just want to leave it open so that you add from where you think it's necessary. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, let me come here. I know Andy is the financial person, and Andy will blow it up. So let's look at it very well. I look at it from the technical standpoint. So we're talking about verify, and there are a lot of people were saying, okay, I requested why this, why that. This is out of ONPASSIVE arena. ONPASSIVE can do it, but remember the verification process is taking place out of ONPASSIVE. This particular, payment, the merchants pay out, they have their own verification process, and we have to abide in it. But it is legal, it's global. It's not like they are doing something silly, but it's because they need to adhere with the international standard of compliance and everything. But they have the way they have build it within the system. So ONPASSIVE has nothing to do with that. I know people say, okay, why do we have to do verification again, like the way Jeffrey said, when we have verify? Wrap your head around. This is me talking, not ONPASSIVE. I'm talking from the way I understand it. It's not ONPASSIVE. When we come with a payment processor, it goes through legality and compliance. When you hear Mr. Africa talking about lawyers are going from A to B, going to Europe, to America, all of those things. It's about knowing the compliance process of what doing pay in and pay out. Compliance go with the code and everything. I have to build it inside. Now, our verification process will kick in when we start to use our payment processor, because all of those things come with compliance. When we said, all right, we don't need third party again, because Mr. Ashford's idea is to bring everything in-house to facilitate the way ONPASSIVE do business with the global market. What will happen? We go through it again, because when third party is not involved, because I've used third party, when they go with everything. You cannot call them again and say, you know what, come and do my verification. They'll tell you, pay me to do your verification. We are not with you anymore, so we don't have any business with you. You need to do your stuff. Now, what's happening? ONPASSIVE is building the system so we can verify, because remember, pay in, pay out will continue to infinity. And what we need is to have a system we can pay in and pay out, and it goes through verification process. That's it. ONPASSIVE is building that, and it needs to go through legality, compliance, and all of those stuff. When it's in the market, the reason why we need to do it again, because we are using a new merchant, which is ONPASSIVE, and we need to go through that legal process again, because the one that we are using, we call it the outsource or the third party, they are gone, and they're gone with everything. It is their process, it's not our process. You cannot go and contact them again. They'll tell you, we have no business with you. So I just want to add that with what Jeffrey is saying. And when Ash is saying this, let us go back, rewind our mental state, and ask ourselves, why do we need to do it? If I'm not dealing with Comfort, I call Comfort. Comfort will tell me, pay me. I don't have any business with you because the contract is already broken. I'm done with you. If you need my services, you have to pay me again. I know, Andy, you add more with that, but Comfort, let me throw it back to you.
Yeah, sure. I think I'll just let Andy roll as well. It's free today.
And we're on a roll, yeah. I think what you've got to bear in mind is that there are what they class as anti-money laundering regulations. That means that we have to prove where money comes from, where it's going to. And this differs country to country. And bearing in mind, we're in 220 odd countries. So the issue may be that in the UK, for instance, you need a certain type of verification. In Ghana, it might be totally different. In Papua New Guinea, it might be totally different. And I know it differs dramatically just between the UK and the States. So, you know, we have these new online systems these days, certainly with things like cryptocurrency, where you can twist your face about and, you know, you show a picture with your passport and what have you. And oftentimes that's pretty good enough. In the financial services industry, it wouldn't be, but this is slightly different. But we still have to prove that we are who we are in order to receive that payment. So, you know, you are going to get some people being asked questions. Some people will be sent an email for verification purposes, etc. Because, again, bearing in mind, when we complete the setup of an email, you put your name and address and your telephone number in, and, you know, this is a safe account. This is my telephone number, and all of those can link in a lot of the countries to who you are and where you're from. So all they're doing at the moment is making sure. Now, when we've got O-Verify, again, what the legal process is O-Verify has to make sure that it complies with all 220 countries, which is, again, potentially an issue. But that's what's being worked on. All the legal advisors have got to make sure that the anti-money laundering regulations are met from each country's perspective. So again, Dubai differs from the UK, and we've got a lot of customers in Dubai. I'm sure Egypt is slightly different as well. So, you know, in the UK, for instance, we have PO box, but we also have a physical address with a postcode, etc. In Dubai, we used to have to verify customers by actually physically writing how you get to the address. And it's, you know, fourth exit off the Sheikh Zayed Road, number 2421, third camel along on the right-hand side, second house on the left. This type of scenario is very difficult to do. So obviously these rules and regulations have to differ per country, and that's really where we are with the legal side of things. We've got to get that right and got to make sure that every country is on board with that and happy to accept what we're going to provide via Verify.
Thank you, Andy. I think earlier on, Jeffrey, if I got you well, you made some emphasis on the reason why people should be watching out on their emails and stuff. Could you visit that again to maybe for slow learners like myself and a few who are watching now or later, the importance of watching out on our emails now? And then if you like, you can connect to the next point, whether being a payment structure process or connect, whatever you like to do, please.
Sure. When we're talking about the emails, that's how when we get notified of a pending withdrawal and they're saying, hey, we're starting to activate and work on this withdrawal, the way they're going to let you know they're working on your withdrawal is by sending you an email. It should go to both your OMail and your alternate email addresses. So every day you need to be checking that, because once that first 100 goes through and they double up or however it is they do it, it's going to start coming harder and faster. And you just don't want to be sitting there for 3 days with emails in your email basket saying, hey, go check this out and do this and this and this because we need to get you paid. And if you're just sitting there and not checking your emails, you're not going to know they're trying to pay you. On their side of that, that's going to gum up the works a little bit, kind of. So we really just need to be diligent and then help them to help us so that we double check the emails. If you don't see it in your original inbox, then, I mean, check spam too. You never know. I don't know where, what address the merchant is going to be using, but it is conceivable that it may go into a spam or some other mailbox. So kind of check that and just be diligent, because we want things to work right. And this is part of how we make that work right. Now, having said that, Mr. Mufara he went into quite a few things, but he also talked about and had some folks on there. You probably remember that there was what he called the three Mohammeds. I loved it. Mohammed Kamal, Mohammed Nazal, and Mohammed Murad. And they started talking about OConnect, right? Saying that it'd been like 10 months since we started subscribing to it. And since the start of that, we've seen, I mean, it's been incredible. We've seen a refund of the $97. We've seen reduced payments. We've seen free extensions, right? I mean, anybody looking at this in the amounts that we've been receiving this can surely recognize that Mr. Mufara and ONPASSIVE as a whole has left millions and millions of dollars kind of on the table just because they've given us a lot of freebies. Now, having that in mind, the ability to subscribe through crypto is still active. It will be for a couple more days or so, just in case, some folks might want to subscribe, even though Mr. Mufara was pretty clear. He said, if you haven't subscribed by now, you probably won't. But there's a couple more days that we're working on some other things, and it's not going to hurt to keep the crypto up. So you got a couple more days. But within days, that's going to go away. So there's not going to be any more OConnect at this price. In fact, the next time we see OConnect, they were saying that it's likely going to be a new release with a brand new price. Now, once the crypto payments do go away, Mr. Mufara indicated that we're not going to be accepting any more subscription payments at all until the balances for the requested withdrawals are cleared. And he had Mr. Mohammed Murad kind of chime in on this. He's ONPASSIVE's Director of Information Technology, and he actually said that the new version of OConnect is focused on scalability and stability. And Mr. Mufara had told us that a week or so ago, right? And they also talked about the AI components over the last couple of weeks. And Mr. Murad said that we're going to notice not only the AI components, but there's also new designs and dashboards within OConnect, and that OConnect is actually on track for the rollout, and it's going to be available soon. Mr. Murad also told us that, as Collins, you were saying, that Verify is also going to be out. The application for it is going to be out soon as well.
Thank you again, Jeffrey. And Collins, I just want you to pick on a particular thing. One of the things that Jeffrey mentioned, it also caught my attention when I saw this, that All Connect is going to be focused on scalability and stability. Can you just touch on that, Collins, please?
Yeah. So, before I come to that, I just want to talk about, the costing, because we are not paying more before the scalability and that the costing that we are not paying, but it's costing the company more because they've reduced the price. They are not getting. Remember, we pay once and we've not paid anything for 10 months for those who came in and they activated their own connect. Wow. The company is building and we are not paying anything. That is true. Because though we have migrated into our own data center, the cloud service, people say, oh, it's not costing. Remember, the maintenance within the cloud is costing the company. The engineers who are working the day and night, remember, they are paying them monthly for 10 months. If you look at the salary of let's say the data scientist, the QA engineer, they are thousands of, let's say 200. Put 200 expert. It's a lot of money. Wow. If you put it down, it's a lot of money. Because today I was chatting with Oliver. I said, all right, just imagine if Mr. Ashburn said they want to hire 4 of us, you, Vincent, and I, how much would they pay us? If we want to debate our price, that's a lot of money. We cannot even say it. It's a lot of money to go in for ONPASSIVE based on our experience. Now, you think about the engineer building that and nothing is coming in from our own point because we just pay once. It's costing the company. It means how they are getting the money to pay, only God knows, to cover all the costs, cover the building, the electricity, the servers that are running, all these things is cost. But now we have to just appreciate that they are doing something good for us because they can charge us and say, you know what, those who want, they can say, all right, we've changed this thing because remember the NDA, they can decide and say, we're going like a traditional business. If you want to stay in, fine. If you want to go, bye. Thank you very much. You've used the software as a service. You've used the O Connect and that's it. Those who will stay in will still be successful, 100%. But now if you look at it, scalability, they have already built O Connect. What they are doing now is the testing part of it to see how many concurrent users will be on it. Say, all right, they started with the old O Connect. We hit almost 50,000 to 75,000, maybe 100,000. I forgot, but we hit more than that. Now with the new O Connect, they need to scale it up, they stabilize it. Say 25,000. Let's see how 25,000 participants running different meetings concurrently, how will the system react? That is the stability, the scalability of it. So, all right, we want to try with 25,000 or 10,000. Let's run a meeting with it. And then let multiple people try different meeting with 10,000. They have the capacity of doing it. Or 100 or 500. They run that meeting simultaneously. And they have a software that can do it. A software can simulate 1 million people at the same time, like Jeffrey Murdoch is sitting there, click that button. It's like Jeffrey Murdoch has cloned himself 1 million times. And then Jeffrey Murdoch now can decide to say, all right, I want Jeffrey Murdoch, 1 million Jeffrey Murdoch to display 10,000 meetings. A system can do a software. There's a software called Stress Stimulus. People don't know. I've used it a lot. Stress Stimulus can do that. It simulates you and then run it. And you see there, automated system that can run the system and behave as if 1 million people are sitting in a meeting and is running concurrently with 1 million meetings. They can test that and they say, wow, we are good to go. That's robotic testing. Move again to the next, again, say, yes, we are happy because the system is unshakable. Move it to the next environment, test it again with 1,000, with more than that. And when they are happy, they say, yeah, the system now, they look at the errors, what the errors is throwing, and they say, oh, we cannot handle this. They go back to the system and say, all right, let's try to see how we can split that to different servers in the data centers, balance it and scale it up again, make sure the system is running. Do that over and over again, and they say, we are happy with it. And remember when they move it to live environment, this old connect we are using, what happened? Nothing happened because they have already tested. They know it will not shake when it comes to performance-wise. And that's the scalability and the stability of the software they are running now. When they found any little issue, they'll just tweak it and go. Because it's not measured. They just that because they want to hit it to the maximum capacity. So anything that will come, like anything like bugs, or not really bugs, we just said any discrepancy of the software, they'll just adjust it and then move on. And that's it. That's what they are doing now when Mr. Moran talk about it. We are just scaling up and stabilizing, scaling and stabilizing.
Wow. All right. Thank you. And of course, over to you, Mr. Berks.
I mean, obviously, Collins is the technical guru. What I took out of it was two further things. First of all, there are all of these additional extras that are coming on, and Jeffrey made the point about this new AI stuff that will actually enhance what we've got. The second, and probably more importantly for me to understand, was this the what Ash was explaining about the fact that the company will be paying out more than anyone else. So this has potentially created issues because there are just always going to be people that don't like that. But I'm taking it from a positive point of view to say, hold on a second, we've got a company that's paying out more than anybody else here, and that is phenomenal. We've got a system that is far better, far superior to its nearest closest and all of the other rivals put together. And then you're going to get paid more than anyone else would do. That for me was very interesting purely because I'm the numbers guy. So I immediately sat down and started playing with figures, as you do. But interestingly enough, it's all about direct clients. It'll be about getting direct clients coming in, and that's really where we're going to win. But this is very shortly going to go viral, and that's when it starts to get really interesting. And this is just the first product, guys. The first product, really, that's paid product. Just wait until all the others start coming out. We're going to have a plethora.
Yes, a plethora of them, and we're just swimming in it from left, right, front, and back. So, Jeffrey, I just want to leave it. Let me see how much I'll try not to ask questions today. Jeffrey, the next new thing is yours.
Well, you know what? I love the fact, Andy, that you talked about the generosity, because Mr. Mufara, yesterday afternoon, he started talking about payment structures and the process and stuff. And guess where he ended up? Talking about our generosity, right? He came out and gave us a lot of good background or context in saying that a few years ago he had personally planned to have a variety of different pay structures, but because of the magnitude and the momentum of our business on passive and what's happened in the last 3 years specifically, that each one of those had to be tested, Collins, as you had said, for legal viability, right? To see if they could stand up against the legal scrutiny that we had to go through. And as a result, there have been a lot of pay structures that have been shared with legal teams across the globe in different countries under different regulations, right? To make sure that that payment structure that we deploy is going to be sound, that it's going to be okay to use in all circumstances. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, we got to make sure they're legal, right? That they meet with the regulatory compliance and such. And so, yeah, it's taken a bit of time, but in the long run, it's going to be a major benefit for us long term, because it talks to our long term stability of our payment system. And that has got to be right. It's just got to be right. But he said, we did this because we know what we're doing is a very disruptive thing, right? Simply because of, and this is where it ties in what Andy said, it's disrupted simply because of our generosity. And we're continually getting challenged because it looks so good. It almost looks like, hey, it's too good to be true, right? There's got to be a catch. So before it gets done, before any of these things get implemented and announced, it gets evaluated through the legal teams that you were talking about, Collins. You see, sometimes when we put something like that out, it'll get accepted in some countries, but it won't be allowed in others. Additionally, other situations may provide that officials might feel, while there's no legal reason to deny it, they just don't believe that we're going to do what we say we're going to do, right? I mean, they're skeptical, right? Because we're giving away too much, like Andy was saying, and that the company's just too generous. It's got to be a ruse. So gotta love it.
Sure. Thank you, Jeffrey. So, my sister, Dr. Benny, just asked for a question I was going to ask, and I'm for some reason wanting Andy to start up on this. Andy, are you motivated though? Please tell us more about the payment structures.
Yeah, I mean, look, there will be a new payment structure in place as we have a new price structure for OConnect. What Jeffrey was referring to is in the past. It's previous that were originally looked at or discussed 5-6 years ago. That's changed. That's changed entirely, and so we don't fully understand or don't know all of the exact figures at the moment. What we can tell you is obviously the first customer you're going to get 100% of whatever the customer pays, and then any subsequent customers that you take on directly, whether that's yourself or the company, is 25% of what they pay. So once we've got a clearer picture as to the pricing, the new pricing structure for OConnect, then you can start to work out figures. But there's more to it than that. And again, a lot of this information has not been shared from exactly what Jeffrey has said. The fact of the matter is that you can't please everybody all of the time. Yeah, but you've got to find a common denominator that will be accepted by 220 countries. So, and this really is, for me, that's like, oh, thank you. Now I understand. Yeah, because not knowing for me has been a frustration, especially as that's the bit I really understand. But now I get it. And looking at the bigger picture, I kind of thought that might be the issue, but now I know. So yeah, you got 220 countries, and we're putting those details out to 220 countries, and I bet half of them are going, no, you can't do that. That's way too much. But that's the way it is. And to be fair, what you've also got to take into consideration is this is a private company. It's not a public company. We don't issue shares on a stock market. We're not beholden to shareholders. The fact of the matter is that he can do what he likes. But let's make things, it's called the KISS principle, isn't it? Keep it simple. And ultimately, Mr. Mufara has to make sure that everybody's happy with the system. Because if you've got one country that says, I'm not going to accept that, yeah, and everybody else starts getting paid, but the one country who's got affiliates in that country can't get paid, you go, that's created a problem. Now that's a problem for the entire company, whether we're paying, 219 out of the 220 countries. It doesn't matter. Everybody has to make sure that the payment system works where they are going to be or where they are. Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Do you gentlemen have anything at all to add to what Andy has just said, please?
Yeah, I have something to ask the comfort. I'll just to take a different spin.
Go for it.
A lot of people think about payment because that's what they came in, but I want to take a different spin of payment. Payment structure will depend on why you came into ONPASSIVE. The reason there are let's say 30% of those who come into ONPASSIVE, they are there to make money. 70% are not coming for anything. They are coming to use the value. So it depends on what you are looking for in ONPASSIVE. Are you in ONPASSIVE to use the top-notch product to enhance your business, to optimize productivity, get better value of your money? What you get, you will never get out there. Are you in ONPASSIVE to get that? Because remember, there are companies in their millions coming into ONPASSIVE, and they are not coming because they want to get anything out of it. They want to use the product, to minimize costs and to maximize profit. That is their own payment structure. That's what they want to get. So there are people who are coming because they think like, okay, I just want to become an affiliate and make money. And we are sounding the affiliate to overpower the majority who are coming not for the money. Because when I look at other companies, you know, I always go to IBM. They don't have affiliate, but millions of companies are going to IBM because they want to use the you know, the database, you know, the all what they are providing to enhance their business. Most of those they are coming, they are coming for that. Tesla is there, Elon Musk. How many people are going as affiliate? They are going to buy Tesla car. Most companies are buying it because electric car saves them a lot. So if we dumb down a little bit, I always said payment is not the only thing. If your idea is to know about payment structure, it means you are an affiliate. That's good for you. But remember, you are just the minority as compared to those who are coming for the value of ONPASSIVE. And this is the reason why ONPASSIVE was built for, to serve both, you know, the minority who are looking for to make commission out of it, ONPASSIVE to build their business, because it's for everybody. But the 70%, I always look at the 70%. Though I don't really look, I don't say, no, the 30% are not important. They are very important, you know. But the 70% that will bring that revenue, which the 30% are crying for, is those companies. And if we don't have a solution, a viable solution that will hit the market for them to look at it and say, wow, this is a company that I want to go, then the 30% will never be successful. So I want to dwell on those 70% that are looking for value, cost-effective products that will change, you know, the way business work, the business atmosphere, automated, driven by AI. Remember what I said yesterday? He said oil and gold can be found in, you know, limited countries, but AI, every country can build it. But the heart, who will get there first, is the one that will dominate the market, and ONPASSIVE is already there. So I always look at that side. I said, let us not dwell on that. Remember that they build a business, and the customers that are coming are the one to put, you know, to put money in the affiliate pocket. Let us dwell on that 70%. How do they see ONPASSIVE? As a vibe, as a company that will provide them the value that they need for a cost-effective price. That's where I'm diving to, because that is the card.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, Jeffrey, do you think you still want to chip into that, or do we move on to something new?
Well, I'll move on to something new, but we're going to come back to that value. I mean, that is a hot topic, and that is a big deal. I mean, yeah. That's our bread and butter. That's what we're based on. You know, one of the things, getting off of that just a little bit, one of the things that Mr. Mufara was talking about last night, and I love how he does this, because when he gets waxing like he does sometimes, then he gives us a lot of context and a lot of background information that allows us to see a bigger, grander picture, and we understand things. Well, he was talking yesterday about how the ONPASSIVE journey has been stretched out. You know, I was taking a bit longer than some would have expected. And he started by saying, you know, he had a lot of really disruptive ideas, and some of them had to be dialed back simply because there are people, and we've experienced this in the past, internally to us, externally to us, that are just bad eggs, right? That they're not happy with what ONPASSIVE has been doing. And as a result, they'll take some information and mix it with some bad information, and they'll produce what Mr. Mufara called yesterday, you know, just poisonous ideas, and it's just lies and fake media and stuff. And that kind of activity has been done by people that's upset by the progress that we're making, and that bad information is being put out specifically to sabotage us. I mean, you know, it's that kind of activity that's made it a lot more difficult for ONPASSIVE to get things done. Mr. Mufara and his teams, they had to work. I mean, he was real clear about this, saying, you know, we had to work diligently and relentlessly to come up with a good way to close all the loopholes that we were finding. And consequently, a lot of things had to be done that we just did not expect to have to do. And we weren't going to do to start with, things that weren't considered in what he calls original calculations or the original plans, because of these things, because of all these things and all this bad, all the stuff we're going through. That's why we've had to build such a huge system through what he calls a completely revamped process. That's how we've got the foundation under us.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. I just want to connect this to for some reason too. I think we feel the same, Jeffrey. I'm so on about value, because Collins earlier on said the 70%, which he thinks are the people who are bringing in the what we are after, they are coming for the value which will serve in their businesses. And Jeffrey, earlier on too, you were excited about the fact that Ash is not focused on profits, but on value. So can we just tackle this and move on from there, please? Maybe Jeffrey, you would like to start again, and we'll hand over to Andy. Andy has been quiet for a while. I hope your lips don't get sealed up, please.
So you want to talk about value? You want to talk about...
Yeah, we just want to add to value, because Collins talked about value earlier on, that most of the customers that are coming at the companies and organizations and so on, they're coming for the value. Meanwhile, the minority, which is you and myself and Collins, were coming in maybe to...
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So you, and then earlier on, you were happy to talk about the fact that the unpassive is not focused on profits, value. So
that falls right into exactly what Mr. Mufara was saying yesterday. I mean, Unpassive has openly upset the financial apple cart, so to speak. So apples are going to be falling all over the place. Now, it is not because he's focused on money or anything, right? Because it's not about the money or the control like you see in a lot of other companies. It's about creating value. I mean, he was clear about this too. You see, Unpassive, its focus is not on keeping profits housed, if you will, in coffers that are accessed by, privileged few, right? I mean, Unpassive is focused on sharing that wealth, on sharing profits to such a degree that a byproduct of that generosity is the lifting of humanity, the raising of the human condition. And paraphrasing Mr. Mufara yesterday, he said, we're known by our generosity. We give more than we should, and we enjoy it. It's our passion. So, I mean, as long as I'm at it, let me tell you, there are those that are rather upset with us for attempting to do this, to be so generous. And some of them are rather powerful people that don't want to share any of the control that they're feeling might slip away because of what we're doing, right? Unpassive's doing it anyway. And we've been doing it for a while. Some of us are, in our 6th year, others in 5th, 4th, 3rd, whatever. Regardless, if you're in it, you're going to win it. And the idea is that we're bringing success, even great success, to a lot of founders and anybody that joins with us, actually. And the plan beyond that is for all the folks that are being given success that join. We're going to, through our generosity, which is being modeled by Mr. Mufara, we're going to reach to those around us and share what we've got, even if they don't join. So absolutely. Mr. Mufara says creating value is huge. He brought on Mr. Mohammed Nizal, right? Mr. Nizal he's an industry expert, top-notch leader. He's got communication skill. He's also a certified project manager professional. But anyway, he's the chief marketing officer for Unpassive. And he says, we're making some amazing stuff that's going to soon shake things up. And he indicated that excitement and said, hey, this stuff, everything going on is fueling the team to getting us all excited because they know that we're in a league of our own. Well, Mr. Mufara said the reason that we're in that league of our own is because of the value that we create. So it is paramount. I mean, it's value. It's all about value. And he has never changed his tune about that. I mean, for years.
Okay, thank you. Andy, value is something that especially three of us, we enjoy discussing that here like every other day. So I'll just let you go.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just take the one product, the OConnect product. Okay, just the one product. And let's do a very, very brief, and I don't like using the word comparison, but why not? Okay. So the nearest closest rival for 10,000 attendees is $6,500 a month. Ours has been $125 a month, I beg your pardon. Okay, so $375 over a 3-month period for 10,000 attendees. We have what I've seen is a crystal clear picture with every O Connect we've done. Okay, so the definition of this is far greater, but it's all of the little additional features, the additional add-ons that we have, and that all of these other rivals or other companies that do this video conferencing are trying frantically to stick on and add on. And I love the analogy that Collins uses time and time again with this two-story house and the foundations for a two-story house, and they're trying to build a skyscraper with it. It's just not going to work. Whereas what we've done is been able to create this foundation that's a kilometer wide and a kilometer deep, and we could, take it to the moon type touch. So this value for money that we talk about is not just a monetary term. It is something that is far superior to anything else out there. And I love the enthusiasm and this wry smile he has on his face when he says, and by the way, guys, we're very soon going to go viral. Because bottom line is, there's lots and lots of companies waiting in the wings because they want this product. Now, they've gone, hold on a second, let's get this perfect for you guys. We're going to release it commercially very shortly. So hold your horses. We'll be with you soon. Yeah. And they're all chomping at the bit, as they say. So this, again, is part of this value for money. This is what I love about it.
Okay. Collins, are you all right there?
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. So did you want to contribute again at all
Yeah.
on value? Or,
Yeah, I just want to add something what Jeffrey and Andy have just said. The value, like Andy touched about the businesses, Jeffrey touched about businesses. This ONPASSIVE is built for everybody. But I want to dwell on the majority of people that will come in. They are all small, medium, and large size corporation. Let me take 3 of our products. I can go on, but let's look at it very well from business standpoint and normal users. O Connect, if we want to split the ratio, how many percentage of people, that normal people like you and I will use O Connect, and how many businesses? And we're talking about daily. How many meetings concurrently in a business? You go to an organization, how many meetings do you think they run every day? There are meetings running simultaneously, 10, maybe 5, 6 meetings, different departments. So if I look at that, I break it down, 70% of the users will be businesses when it comes to O Connect, and 30%, because sometimes we have meetings, like family meeting, but not every day. So 30% will be businesses. So these are the people that will look for the value and say, yes, I want it. We're talking about small corporation, medium size, and large event, those who run everything. Just think about it. They are the one that will come in, and these are the people that will look if ONPASSIVE is providing them that value. Now let's look at old staff. When old staff will come out, normal user will not use it. It's more business. So it means 100% will come. Those who are coming in, they are all businesses, 100%. No normal user will use it. Give it to Peter Rogers, it's business. Whether you like it or not, it's business. You go to Academy, I would say 60% business and 40% individual. Those who want to study on their own. But 60%, because businesses always send people for training course. So they will buy the product and allow people to study, and they will pay more. Go to that's Academy. Now, which one do you want to talk about? If we come and say, all right, mail, more normal users are using it. But when they will come with the enterprise edition, a lot of business will dive in because they have millions of employees, or say the normal company can have, the least can have 70 employees, and the maximum 1,000 employees. They will go all for mail because they need to create multiple emails for their employees through Active Directory. They will customize it to their need, tailoring them to their need. And we can go on and on looking all the products that ONPASSIVE brings. So those who always see ONPASSIVE in a different way, please, this is the time you have to go and recheck yourself. think about other IT companies that are building solutions for businesses. ONPASSIVE is not different. They are building it for small, medium, and large size corporation, and very few is just for normal user like ONET, the free O-mail version. O-Trim will come with different enterprise edition, and everything we see is for business. It's about making our life easy to run business as smoothly as possible. And Jeffrey talked about bringing everything, making it affordable. It is because ONPASSIVE is bringing everything in-house. When you bring everything in-house, you build it yourself, you run it yourself, you employ all the engineers, like what Mohammed Kamal said, bringing all those, that the top brain from UK, Canada, America, Japan, everywhere. It is because they want to get the best of the best brain to start to brainstorm and bring something that will blow, and always blow mankind, and always try to keep on top of their game to say, yes, we are already there before you even think about it. Don't even dare with us, because we are there. We are getting there. We are moving forward. We are moving faster than you think. It's an IT technology company, and they will continue to build. But this is about making our business atmosphere and individual, normal people like you and I to be okay. OPAL will be for normal people like you and I. The majority will be more for business use. So this is what I just wanted to say, the comfort. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I know when it comes to value, we can go on and on and on, and it's never finishing. So, Jeffrey, Gina Liver says, we have the heart and the numbers, millions of us, of course, and nothing can stop us from succeeding in the mission of uplifting humanity. That is the word we want to go on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, uplifting humanity.
Well, we can certainly talk about lifting humanity. I mean, wow. I mean, if you think about this, to lift humanity in the way that we're talking about doing it. And thank you, Gene. I sure appreciate that. Although, Collins, I want to go back to what you were talking about as well. So anyway, in order for us to lift humanity like we're expecting to, we need to touch every soul, every individual on the planet. And that's going to happen primarily beginning with us, the charter members, right? With the generous hearts that are all going to share abundance at the grassroots levels. We've talked about that before, and everything we've just talked about. And that's why I think we have some folks that are a little impatient sometimes. They're telling others, oh, wait and see. And they simply don't understand the massivity of what is going on, or the number and degree of the challenges that we faced and overcome simply through the resolve that is modeled by Mr. Mufara. I mean, man alive, when you start looking at some of the things that he's had to go through and some of the challenges that we've grown through, and you look at, we've become, and I'm sure Gene will enjoy this, at some point, a great many of us in ONPASSIVE have joined and become an ONPASSIVE family. And we have that heart, and we have that drive and that will to do what's right because it's right, because it's been modeled for us. And in this sense, this is going to allow us more and more to help to drive that lifting of humanity that's at the core of what we're trying to do here with building value and just putting others before ourselves. Generosity is huge in that too.
Okay, Andy, anything about uplifting humanity to add, or anything at all?
Yeah, Ash has always said. I mean, we've got the most favourable compensation scheme ever, and Ash has always said, look, I want you to be able to fill your tank, and once you've done that, then you'll have spare and left over for other things. And along this journey that we've taken, it's switched from, as Colin said, just making the money to now, what else can we do? What and who can we help along the way? Who can we teach to fish? Who can we help with inventions to bring new technologies to the market that will help everybody? Excuse me. So there's so much more to it than just, okay, well, I'll assist with an orphanage, for argument's sake. There's so much more that lifting humanity can do in the way that we're talking about it. Because if you think about it, if you've got 1.4 million original early birds, and each one of us put $1 in, because each month we've got in excess of $1 spare, but let's say we do that, that's 1.4 million for a good cause every month. Now, at the moment, you've got things like the lottery you have to put your money into, and best of luck if you win it, because it's 256 billion to 1 or something stupid. So the chances are, but you put £1 in towards a good cause, that good cause is going to benefit no matter what. And to be fair, some of the good causes that the National Lottery have undertaken, quite frankly, makes your head spin. So I would far rather give my £1 or my $1 to a good cause that I know it's going to that cause, and not some idiotic structure that nobody likes.
Amen.
Yeah, I know. So, Collins, what are you up to? Are you chipping into lifting of humanity? Do you have something new in mind?
No, I really like it because Gina River brought that up, which is really good. Because if we look at the concept of unpassive, that's one of the biggest thing. Remember what Mr. Ashbufara told us. He said, without uplifting humanity, he will be less motivated of being unpassive. That's the only thing that motivates Mr. Ashmufara. He said the concept is about doing what? It's about doing less, paying less, earning more, with the ability to do good to mankind. And that is the concept of unpassive. Those who didn't get it, if you go and listen to Mr. Ashmufara's concept, it is there in update. You know, paying less, doing less, and more, with the ability to do good to mankind. That's uplifting humanity. It means we have to earn more, because if you look at it very well, you cannot give what you don't have. So if Mr. Ashbufara is thinking about earning more, the idea behind unpassive telling you will earn more is because they want you to go out and do good. It means they want to give you time and financial freedom, so you can go and bless others. That is about doing good to humanity. If that is not the aim, Mr. Ashbufara said it himself. He said, I will lose the motivation of being unpassive. Take humanity out of unpassive. I don't think I want to do unpassive anymore. It means I just want to be like any traditional business, ending and ending, you know, getting rich and getting rich. And there is no motivation for you to build unpassive. So he is motivated because he wants to uplift humanity. And that is the concept, you know, and we just have to be grateful that we are blessed to be in such a company where they want to give us more so we can be out there to do good, giving us that time and financial freedom where we can do a lot for humanity.
Amen.
Great. So, you know, Jeffrey, one of the things that you actually earlier on wanted us to talk about, or you would like us to talk about, was going to be why unpassive keeps being flagged and stuff like that. Do you want to please?
Yeah. Oh man, alive. I do want to touch on generosity and heart and all that for just a second, because you know what? One of the biggest reasons that we're being criticized, and this goes right into what you were asking me to talk about, is our generosity. I mean, there's no company on the planet that's got so much built-in generosity, and it's something that Mr. Mufara has stated over and over again that we and he are extremely proud of. ONPASSIVE, and think about this for a minute, because ONPASSIVE is the only company that I know of that openly endorses doing what's right because it's right. We call that heart, right? We say we got heart. Mr. Mufara's got heart. We operate with heart. And going one step further, ONPASSIVE has taken that heart and weaved it into its fabric of business, if you will, that's helping us become a dominant force in AI and global e-commerce. And it's a part of who we are, and we call that AI with heart. And so that's what's driving everything that we're doing as far as lifting humanity. Now, when you talk about what's going on and why are we always getting picked on, or what I call we're getting a lot of flack, right? most companies, they haven't had to do what we've had to do. Mr. Mufara talked about this yesterday. Most companies don't go from 0 to 60 miles an hour in like 3.2 seconds, right? I mean, most companies have got years of growth to build, and their progress is considerably slower than ours has been. So those that would be threatened by that type of progress, they don't take a lot of notice. They're not as alarmed as they may have otherwise been. Now, most companies just grow up organically over time. They don't amass millions in a member base, right? I mean, Andy pointed out 1.4 million founder accounts, right? And they don't bring in what I consider supremely qualified, high-powered, professionals. So those companies aren't targeted like we have been by hostile actors, because they're not disrupting anything or stepping on anybody's toes, so to speak, on the way up. Not like we have, openly, transparently, right? Before ONPASSIVE, I don't think anybody's ever claimed the goal of lifting humanity that I'm aware of. I don't know of any. I mean, there's conscious companies out there, but I don't know of any that say we're going to be lifting humanity. That's the first. I mean, nobody can compare to us with that. And heaven forbid a company ever come out and claim we're going to be the correction of the corruption. Let me tell you, that got some ears perked up, right? But ONPASSIVE has, and ONPASSIVE did. And it didn't go unnoticed. And as a matter of fact, that's the reason that we've been enduring a lot of severe and long-lasting opposition on a whole lot of fronts. That's why we're taking the flack, because we've got the courage, the resolve, and the will and the desire to be that correction to the corruption, to actually lift humanity through the value that we create and the generosity that we share. That's why we're getting beat up.
Right. Wow. There's a contribution here from Brother Man, which I just like. He says, I don't know, it should be Man. Then he says, I presented ONPASSIVE to many people, but what I realized was those who were seemingly smart did not get it, but only the pure and good-hearted people got it and signed up. Yes, I think I was working hard not to contribute, but I like this because ONPASSIVE really is not for the smart. It's just for the good and the open-hearted, because we're here to uplift humanity. Smart people ask. So I think this just adds up to the goodness of ONPASSIVE that you are talking about. You see that it's just for a few chosen people. So everybody who is here is at the right place at the right time. So again, Andy, we should be gradually taking our last round now, if it's okay with all of us. So,
last round, last couple of comments. We have waited this long. We know that there are some things going on in the background that Jeffrey's mentioned, and it's not just from other companies. It's from within our own organization. Okay, so if you know of anybody that's trying to create problems, pass the details on. We don't want them in our business. I'm sorry to say, I have no interest in dealing with idiots. So get rid of them. And quite honestly, yeah, absolutely. Why should we?
Oh my God! I know.
There's a good reason why we should. You've got somebody who's trying to create a problem instead of a solution. Then we don't need him or her or them. Yeah. And I think what we have to do is to be a little bit patient with the company. The company are doing so much in the background to do just that, to get rid of some of these idiots. And it's taking time, because you've got to weed out the wheat from the chaff, as it were. So, all credit to the team and to Mr. Mufara, and let's do our bit by keeping an eye on what's going on. And if we come across anything, then pass the details on.
Amen.
Yes. Over to you, Collins. Thanks, Andy.
Yes, Andy, I've just said it right. So, one of the things I would say, I always said is ONPASSIVE is divinely ordained. And there's a reason why the people you are saying, talking about ONPASSIVE, they are doing what they are doing, because They didn't see it from their side, they see it from the heart. You know, their heart opens from, like, look at Jeffrey. Jeffrey was here long before we even joined, you know, and Jeffrey is still fired up till now. That tells you, Madi Digamo, Chris, you know, I can name Chris Johnson, all of those people, they are just there, still fired up, like they just joined today. It means this really need to pass us a clear message that they are not giving up and we shouldn't give up. They have just seen it. We should see it from where the point that they are coming. You know, Unpassive is here for everybody. It is here to give voice to the voiceless, to those who have lost hope, you know, to revive your hope again, to tell you that you can even dream. Like Muhammad Kamal said, dream bigger. You know, we just have to dream, because what's the point? I always make this statement. What's the point going for an exam with the idea that you will fail? If you think of failure, you fail alone, not Unpassive, because Unpassive will always move forward, but you will fail because you came with double mindset. You know, just come in full, because there is place for everybody. And to those, like Andy said, who are just there to think like they can bring it down, I will tell you today, you failed. Because Unpassive is already planted on a solid foundation where you cannot bring it down. But the only promise I will give you, tell your grandchildren the truth, if you will be a granddad or a grandmom, that I saw this place. And they will ask you, did you watch Jeffrey Muller? You said, don't lie, because God is watching you. Said, I was the one.
Oh my God.
I was the one destroying, trying to bring it down. Tell your grandchildren, I tried and I failed. You know, because this is the truth, because they will never forgive you. Don't lie and say, oh, my grandchild or my granddaughter, I didn't know about it. Tell them the truth, that I was the one going behind trying to destroy the company, not knowing what God has already hold for this company. Let us be sincere and search our heart. You don't need, as Andy said, to be in a place where you are not comfortable. If Unpassive is not for you, yes, you can take a back seat. Allow those who are in, so they can see it. So tomorrow when you look at it, said, had I known, but no, it will be the last. But always stand and tell the truth that I tried to destroy it or I rejected it. It is good enough. So you have a peaceful mind, you know, to say, yes, I did. But to lie, you always live with your conscience, because your conscience will always be with you. So because they said the evil that men do never live after them, it live with them. So I will leave it there. Thank you, Sir Comfort.
Wow. I love it.
Jeffrey, no, I was laughing because, and then I think I want to say that what Collins did here is a clarion call. If you are listening to this, be it today, the 8th of February, 2024, or 20 years later, and this opportunity is still here, grab it, because you don't want to look in the eyes of your grandchildren and tell them that you did not hear us when we are still here. So, Jeffrey, crown it up for us, please. I'll round it up. Thank you. Man
alive. I'll tell you what, you guys get talking and I have all these things in my head. You know, I got to bring this up. You know, Ash talked about AI, right, as being the biggest technological commodity, if you will, on the planet, and said that nearly every country in the world has the ability to compete in its development. So, I mean, the race is on, right? We're going to see who comes up with the best breakthroughs first. Well, following up on that, Mr. Mohammed Kamal, we all know him, right? He's Unpassive's chief operating officer. He said, you know, we've got Unpassive teams that are meeting people and meeting with big talents in the AI field. And he let us know that there's actually a big team that's being onboarded right now, and that we're going to see some of these teams, and we're going to meet some of these people eventually. And that we're also, come March, he said, we're going to see some very big, prestigious events that are going to be unfolding in Dubai as we move into March, you know, the first week of March. Mr. Mufara commented even further and went on to say that the people that they're onboarding are Einstein caliber people. I mean, and we know what that means, right? I mean, these people are smart, right? We're going to meet them. He said there's going to be lots of PhDs, lots of professors. They're coming from the UK, the USA, the Gulf, India, Hong Kong. I mean, all over the place, right? Inventors, pioneers, they built companies, and now they're being brought into Unpassive. And it doesn't take a whole lot of imagination to figure out why. I mean, look at Unpassive. Why wouldn't you want to? I mean, look at engineer Kamal. I mean, wow, and the following he had, right? Anyway, we're going to be dominating industries because these experts and those that love them are all joining Unpassive, right? And coming to us in hordes, it would seem. And he also talked about why Unpassive was actually drawn into the AI ring, so to speak, right? I mean, could it have been us saying that we're going to be, you know, correction to the corruption? Well, partly, probably. But we know that's not very popular with some, you know, heavy-hitting tech guys, right? I mean, there are some serious players out there, the Google and the Metas of the world, right? What used to be Facebook, unlimited resources, lots of power. Whoa, you know, got that evil laugh going for them, right? Been in the game a lot longer than us. But if you take a closer look at them, you may even see that they're being morphed a bit. Now, regardless, all that set aside, do you see any of those companies that are steeped in the pursuit of AI trying to lift humanity? Absolutely not. And for this reason, OnPassive has more of what it takes to do the AI and the lifting humanity thing, simply because of our heart and because of the value that we're creating. We got more of that than any other company on the planet. So the draw for us is to lift humanity through being the correction of the corruption and positively infecting the planet, right? So we can rest assured that everything is on track. It's all rolling out in the right way. And to paraphrase something Mr. Kamal said yesterday, whatever you're dreaming, OnPassive is bigger than your imagination. And I will let that stand.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you guys for doing it again, just as usual. I really appreciate you again this evening. And thank you to team for contributing powerfully. This goes a long way, guys. And again, today is February 8th, 2024. If you are listening to it today or next year or next 20 years and the opportunity is still there, do not ignore, because you have a tiny person standing down there looking up your face and say, Papa, did you hear about this? Tell them the truth. So guys, we love you. Thank you so much. And I think I should have remembered, do this for me. Today was husband's birthday. So if you can't just say happy birthday to Bernard, I think he will like that. Thank you, guys.
Happy birthday, Bernard!
Happy birthday, Bernard!
Happy birthday,
Happy
Bernard.
birthday to you.
All right. Okay. Thank you, guys. And see you soon. Thank you. Bye.